I think the real key message is, and we've simplified our messaging. When you start a technology development, your focus is really on the engineer and the developers of the technology. And that speak is quite a bit different than the speak you use with a consumer. And now that we're really deployed in the market, we're shifting our messaging to a much simpler consumer messages. And the real message is that SuperSpeed USB is delivering this effortless audio video streaming, music, photos, and charging to your home, office, or car, and anywhere in between. It's really the only connection that you need, and it's that robust. And there are a lot of I/O connections out there, but they're focused on, like, SATA is storage, HDMI is only audio and video, right? We do all of those things. We do storage, we do charging, we do head, we do audio, video, and it's a very, very robust technology. Obviously, the term universal serial bus, it really is universal. It's like the Swiss Army knife of technology. So, anyway, we're really focusing now with SuperSpeed USB, with the data rate capabilities, we now are really focusing on audio, video, streaming, and I'll show you some demos. I'm really focused on TVs, set-top boxes, PCs, phones, and cars. The other key item here is that we've now certified actually over 360 USB products. Now there are more products in the market than that, but as our association, we do certification and compliance testing and logo licensing. So we're only focused on certified products. SuperSpeed USB delivers 10 times the data rate of high-speed USB. So we're going from 480 megabits per second to 5 gigabit per second data rates. We're delivering twice as much power so that you can charge your devices faster. We are also very power efficient. So doing a transaction over SuperSpeed USB, USB 3 versus high-speed USB, it would use a third of the power. So that means extended battery life for the consumer. And then the great thing for consumers too is we're backward compatible. Your older product will work with a new USB 3 computer. It'll work at the older speed, but it still works. If you have a new USB 3 product and you plug it into a legacy computer, it will also work, but at the slower speed. And the key is that to have SuperSpeed USB, you have to have a SuperSpeed enabled host, a SuperSpeed enabled device, and a SuperSpeed cable. And if you guys have questions, feel free to. The next two foils is really where I'm going to focus. I'll just cover it at a high level. Last month we announced that we certified 2 Intel chipset families that will ship in the spring, the Ivy Bridge chipset. The Intel 7 series and the C216 chipset families. Very, very exciting. So we have Intel, Microsoft. There's Steve Sinofsky. He's the president of the Windows division of Microsoft. He demonstrated Windows 8 support with USB 3 at the Build conference in LA in September in his keynote. So we have the Microsoft endorsement. We had already certified last April 2 AMD chipset families that are integrated. So when Intel starts to ship in the spring with AMD, Windows 8 chips, literally SuperSpeed USB will just migrate into every PC type product. And that'll also continue to drive the peripheral or device side.
Yeah, I was thinking, do you think now that these are coming out this coming year, do you think there's enough devices currently that will satisfy the consumer?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to show you some of those. And then I have some Instat data in here for you that, is good data points for you guys to look at. Now, we only show the total TAM, but I always recommend, I use a lot of analyst data, but Instat's probably one of the best because they literally break down every segment of a percentage of transition to, say, high-speed USB to USB. But there'll be plenty of devices. I'm going to spend a little more time here. We also, the USB-IF and the spec developers do a lot of ancillary specs to take advantage of the new core specs. So USB 3 is a new core spec that's been out since 2008. And now we have ancillary specs in support of that are starting to come out. We just released a new audio-video device class spec in December. And this, again, is really taking advantage of the data rate of SuperSpeed USB and delivering this full audio-video capability for phones, cameras, webcams, Pico cameras, TVs, HD displays. And the neat thing is it's really enabling this single connection. Power, data, audio, video, everything over one connection. A mobile broadband interface module is really focused on companies that make modems and cellular devices that use GSM, CDMA, or LTE. And the net is we're eliminating the old way we used to communicate in those devices over USB. We used to have to communicate with AT command sets or also Ethernet packet headers. And that's kind of antiquated, so with this spec, we eliminated that. Now we can talk directly TCP/IP. It makes it much more efficient, much more faster, much more easier to deploy. These two last specs are currently under development. Brad's driving the development teams on these two specs. Power delivery is a spec that really came out of what we were seeing happening in the market. Every consumer today expects to be able to charge their device over USB. Matter of fact, the European Union, starting this year, requires that any cell phone sold in the European Union has to charge over micro USB. Okay? And when we started to see this feature benefit that consumers love, we said, let's go out and look at the whole power envelope, soup to nuts. How do we manage and deliver that benefit for a much broader range of consumers and users? And that's what this is about. This is really revolutionary. What this enables is multiple voltages. You can request 1 volt, 3.3 volt, 5 volt, 20 volt, and you can deliver power charging capabilities all the way up to 100 watts. And a lot of people may not initially grasp what that means, but what that means is these custom power bricks, one for Lenovo, one for HP, one for Dell, one for the TV, one for the drum, those are all going to go away. And you're going to literally have a universal power brick that will plug into the wall or plug into your TV. Maybe your TV charges your PC. Maybe your phone, maybe your PC's out of power. It can also bi-directional. Maybe I want to send power from my phone to my notebook, from my notebook to the TV. This is good. It's a very eco-friendly solution because these landfills are filling. This is what happened in Europe. These landfills are filling up. In Europe, they have 50,000 metric tons of custom chargers filling up the landfills in Europe. And they're filling up landfills in America too, in Asia. So it's very eco-friendly. It's very convenient for the consumer because if I left my power brick at home, I'll use your power brick because it'll be one power brick. And I think it's going to be very good for the device and the platform manufacturers because I think it'll really lower their cost structure. Right? They'll still deliver a power brick. It'll just be a universal power brick. So we're really excited about this. And it will also work through hubs. Okay? And this last spec is SuperSpeed interchip. We have a low voltage interchip today on USB 2, and we have a high speed interchip on USB 2. This is now taking that to the next level. And this is a spec for chip-to-chip communications inside the platform or the phone. What's really exciting about this is Brad's group, the USB 3 promoter group, went out and worked with the MIPI Alliance. And it's another standards body. And they're going to utilize the MIPI M5 for the physical layer, which all the cell phone guys already use. And they're going to lay down the SuperSpeed MAC and protocol layer on top of the M5. And that'll go in the phone and into these platforms for very high speed connections, chip to chip, inside the systems. So that's really exciting for developers. It'll be low cost, it'll be high data rate, it'll be very low power. So.
can I ask you, how do you feel, we see a lot of press about 3.0 versus Thunderbolt. How do you feel about the competition? Are you not worried, or with all of your, Intel supporting you, Microsoft, how do you feel about
Well, I can't tell you much about Thunderbolt, but what I can tell you is that you can see, and this data will help validate that, the support for USB 3 is phenomenal. With the chipset integration on the platform side, it basically comes for free. USB is something the consumer knows and loves. It's easy to use, it just works. And they know it's a safe purchase because they don't have to upgrade all their equipment. And there's a whole industry ecosystem behind USB. The compliance and certification testing, the logo license, trademark, copyright protection. And we even train the retail sales force in North America, and we also do our own advertising. Can you hear me that? We run our own ads to drive brand awareness directly to the consumer at large. And we run these in in-flight magazines, Wired magazine, we're in the Twice Daily. We're all over McCarran Airport for CES. We're in United, in-flight magazine. And we're really conditioning the consumer to look for our brands. When they get to the store, we've already trained the retail salespeople at all the major retailers, electronic retailers, about our technology. So this is really from conception all the way to delivering product to the consumer. We're involved in that whole stream of communication. And we're probably the only trade association in technology that does that. And so we're really excited about, and we're so, as you'll see with these demos, we're so excited to see the ramp and adoption exploding on USB 3. The other thing is this is a very, very cost competitive solution. Again, for the platform, when they ship an integrated solution, it basically comes to the platform guy for free. I don't know how you compete with free. And the numbers behind that are, today in the install base, there are over 10 billion USB products with a B. And the industry is shipping in excess of 3 billion USB products every year, year over year. You could take all the other I/O interfaces and roll them together, their volumes, they would not outship USB. All of them. Ethernet, DVI, DisplayPort, SATA, all of it, Wi-Fi, they would not outship USB. That's how big it is. The other thing is that charging is such a feature now. And as we continue to deliver these revolutionary changes with USB is going to continue to be the low-cost consumer I/O now and well into the future. As who was the guy who said you can't touch this?
Yeah.
That's it. This is it. Okay? So just to give you an idea, and we have numbers, this is Instat's May forecast of last year. This is the complete TAM for USB. Now his report breaks down every segment, but this is the total snapshot. And last year, Brian O'Rourke forecasted the industry would ship 77 million units. And we have numbers to substantiate that. We, in fact, did that. He's saying this year, the industry at large will ship just under 500 million USB 3 products. The dark red is USB 3. The dark blue is high-speed USB. The light blue is low and full-speed USB. Next year, so remember this year, just under 500 million. Next year, it goes to just under 1 billion. So in 2 years, we're going from 77 million to 1 billion products in USB 3. Nobody ships numbers like that. It's phenomenal.